the pod bay doors.
Greetings and welcome to another exciting episode of the Cinematic Travelers. I am your intrepid movie exploring host, Chris. And on this episode, it's that time of the month again. No, not that time of the month. It's that time where we travel to a galaxy far, far away and we review yet another Star Wars movie. And on this episode, I am joined by my young Sith apprentices, Tyler and Sean, as we review Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Or, as I found out through IMDb, it is pronounced in Italy. The title is La Vendetta dei Sith. Since we did Godfather the other week, I've got Italian stuck in my head. I was like, man, that's much better. I wish they'd have just kept with that for everybody. But anyway, yes, we're doing Revenge of the Sith, and I am joined, of course, always by my millennial co-hosts, as I mentioned, my Sith apprentices, and one of which I know is dying to talk about this movie. I'll introduce him first. My nephew-in-law, Sean. How the hell are you?
I'm so happy to be here, Chris.
I know you are. You've been waiting for this one since we started.
Yes, I have.
All right, so let me ask our movie-related question. As this is the Revenge of the Sith, this one's kind of easy. What would your Darth name be?
Kinda easy. Oh man. Can I look it up in a Sith name generator real quick or something?
No. Think of something that's about you that you could be like, Darth blah blah.
I'll go with Darth Fitz, because that's the beginning of my last name. I know what to say.
That's all right. I thought this was gonna be easy, but apparently not. All right, and my other Sith apprentice is my son Tyler. Tyler, how the hell are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let me ask you the same question to see if I can stump you as well. Like I said, I thought this would be easy. All right, what is your Darth name?
I'm also stumped, but we'll go with Darth Wrench. How about that?
Darth Wrench. All right, I like that. Darth Wrench. I like that. All right. I, of course, am Darth Sexy. Bam! I know, I'm a dork. Now, before we get into all of the festivities on this episode, Tyler, why don't you tell these beautiful people out there where they can find us and talk to us?
You can find us on Instagram at Cinematic Travelers Pod. We got an email, thecinematictravelers@gmail.com, and on Twitter at CMT Pod.
And we're also on the wonderful Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Music.
Very nice. It's all coming together.
Oh,
good,
yes.
Good.
Like butter.
Good. Like butter. And yes, you should follow and subscribe to us because there was a special episode at the end of last week. We might have another little special episode at the end of this week coming up. So you do want to follow and keep up with us and talk to us. Let us know what you think of us and our reviews and our shenanigans here. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
All right, and this came out way back in 2005. That's been over 20 years. And I have to say that so that my millennial co-hosts know that they're getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's insane.
You know when you're getting old, when you're the movies you watched when you were a kid, they're sort of like, oh, that's been 20 years. You're like, no shit.
That's crazy.
But Revenge of the Sith was once again written and directed by George Lucas to finish out this trilogy. The budget was roughly $113 million. I did do an adjustment for today's dollars, which came out to about 190 million. The overall gross, I had to kind of fudge the numbers a little bit because they had a re-release last year that did really well in the cinemas. I was a bit surprised. But I think in its original run, it made about $150 million, which in today's dollars would be about $1.4 billion. So it was the highest grossing movie in 2005.
And it deserves every
It
bit of it.
deserves it.
We'll find out if it does. We'll find out if it does. Good. Let the hate flow through you. All right. Well, since he is the man of the hour, and he has to know I was going to go to him for this.
Of course.
Sean, please tell us what the hell these Sith want revenge for.
All right. So, Revenge of the Sith is about Anakin slowly falling apart near the end of the Clone Wars as he starts having visions about losing Padme and feels more isolated from the Jedi. While the Council doesn't trust him and kind of pushes him away, Palpatine takes advantage of that and convinces him that he can save the people he loves through the dark side. When Anakin finally chooses Palpatine over the Jedi, he becomes the legendary Darth Vader and helps wipe them out in Order 66. Obi-Wan confronts him on Mustafar in their final duel, and by the end, the Empire rises, Vader is born, and Luke and Leia are hidden away, setting up the original trilogy.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes.
You knew I had to hand that to you. I put that on a silver platter.
I was prepared
for our episode 3 fan. All right, well, since we've gotten that out of the way, we are going to break our review down into the positives and the negatives, and then we'll give our overall number rating at the end. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives of Star Wars Episode 3, La Vendetta de Sith.
This is where the fun begins.
All right, since Sean gave us the plot synopsis, I am going to throw Tyler into the Mustafar lava and let him tell us what he loved about this movie first.
All right. So I liked the opening scenes where Anakin and Obi-Wan, they crash land inside the ship, and as they all hop out, R2's just strolling around. He's not really worried about nothing. All the droids are shooting around, and he's just kind of, he feels safe. He's good over there.
He knows he's in the next 3 movies, so he's good.
Plot armor.
He's read his contract. He's good.
And then he absolutely just cooked all of the battle droids, all by himself. Spitting oil on them, sets it on fire.
Badass.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Was it really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
I'll be
cool.
quiet. I'm
So
not used to
cool.
talking to you guys.
We can get to your negatives in a bit. All right,
I know.
sir?
You're right. I'll be quiet. I'll mute myself there.
Palpatine, the do it.
Do it.
Let's see here. Oh, I have a question for you, actually, real quick. So,
For me or Sean?
for you, for
for
you.
For me? Oh,
Yes.
gosh. Okay.
So when you were
Palpatine.
originally watching the prequels, did you already know that Palpatine was Darth Sidious? Like, did you already know that, or was it a surprise?
No, it wasn't a surprise. I didn't know his name was Darth Sidious because they don't say that in the original trilogy, but you knew who Palpatine was, so you knew where he was going.
Okay, all right. I liked that Palpatine was talking to Anakin at whatever show that was with the bubbles. I don't know if
Yeah.
that was just for
It was
entertainment.
opera.
It was opera.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. As he's talking to Anakin, he's feeding into all of Anakin's feelings. He's telling him exactly what he wants to hear, and you kind of see him start to transition to deciding to go to the dark side, starting to make that decision so he can save Padme. There was a scene where Anakin was talking to Obi-Wan before Obi-Wan sets off on his adventure, and he's saying he's sorry for how he's been acting, and he appreciates all of the teachings. But for some reason, maybe I was reading into it a little too much, but it felt like it was a little bit of a, like, I appreciate everything you've taught me, but now it's time for me to go and move on from this. Right? Like a weird
little bit,
kind
yeah.
of manipulative goodbye in a way.
Oh, since we're
Um,
asking questions, maybe I'll ask Sean. He probably knows, but I'm assuming that Anakin in this movie is a full-on Jedi Knight. He's not his apprentice or his Padawan anymore, right?
I would assume he's a knight, yeah.
I know in the opening crawl it said 2 Jedi Knights, but
Yeah. That's what I've always.
But
that's
in the
what I've
Phantom
always
Menace
figured.
opening crawl, it said 2 Jedi Knights, and he was Obi-Wan was a Padawan, but he didn't have the little braid or anything, so I just assumed he was a Jedi Knight.
I assume he evolved to knight status.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
I don't know the
Tyler.
rankings. Sorry.
I know. That's okay.
Let's see here. And then immediately after that conversation, He's talking to Padme, and that kind of just solidified the fact that he's going to learn how to harness the dark side, because he's saying, don't worry, I'm going to be able to save you with these new special powers that I'm going to learn. But then when I thought maybe I was reading into it too much, because then he's talking to Palpatine later on, and Palpatine tells him that he could teach him all these things, and he acts surprised, as if all these conversations didn't kind of like lead to this, one subject. But whatever.
No comment at the moment.
All right. As much as General Grievous is a coward and likes to run and hide, when he pulls out his 4 lightsabers, it was really cool.
So
sick. I have that memory kind of burned into my brain. Seeing that as a kid was pretty cool. And since we're on the subject, I think that the fight... Never mind. That should go into the negatives.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Anakin's renaming to Darth Vader was pretty cool. I guess that whole scene was nice. But I did like that Yoda immediately felt the shift in the Force there after he had accepted that he was Darth Vader. I do not know who that teenage Jedi was that came out fighting. He took down like 3 or 4 clones, but he got shot down. But that was cool to see.
Kudos to that guy.
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
A little trivia, but that actor is actually I forget his name, but that's Lucas's son.
Oh no shit!
Okay. Yeah,
that's sick.
And George is in the movie as well, and his daughters.
What?
Very brief cameo, I think. I think when they were going into the opera, George was standing. He's got like blue face paint on and stuff, and he's standing there talking to his daughter who's got some kind of stuff on.
That's cool.
Anywho,
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
That's all I gotta say. I like one funny thing I noticed was when they were flying around on the planets, you could see like I guess you would call the cars, and they're all lined up. So even in space, there's traffic. It doesn't have to be on the ground. It can be in the air.
It doesn't matter.
People can't drive anywhere.
Yeah, it's all backed up all throughout the sky. The final fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin was so good. I liked all the lava surrounding them and all the visuals. They're fighting from the tower, swiping up and down at each other. Fighting on the floating platforms a foot apart from each other. It was cool. And then also, since he is his Padawan and learned how to fight from Obi-Wan, they have the same style of fighting. So you see a lot of mirrored movements, which I thought was really nice.
Anakin didn't learn. He didn't learn.
Didn't learn.
The final lesson.
He told him, don't come up here.
Bitch.
When the mask comes on, when he puts the mask on as Darth Vader and he takes those first few breaths, that was iconic. That was cool. I thought it was kind of ironic to see him crying after he found out that he basically killed Padme when his whole sole mission was to save her. A little weird. Seeing him be so weak, being a powerful dark figure in the universe. And I'll end it with one question. What was Padme holding in her hand in her funeral?
That was the necklace that young Anakin gave her in Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Just so sad.
So
sad.
So sad.
She still died in love with this man.
I know.
I know it. And we never saw her in that white outfit again. Lucas, you robbed us, Lucas. So that's all your positives?
Those are all my positives.
All right, very nice, very nice. All right. Well, me and you, Tyler, we could take a nap for a little while because Sean is just going to gush all over this movie.
Don't hold back. Give us all of it.
Anything. Come on, Sean. Bring us your positives.
All of them. Give us all of it.
All right. In a comfortable chair. I'll see you all in about an hour.
So some of them Tyler said already. So if I say them again, that is my fault.
That's quite all right. People love you, Sean. They love you.
I'm going to start from the top. So, like Tyler was saying, immediately you're just thrown into a super fun opening with peak bro energy, I think, between Obi-Wan and Anakin. So that was super cool to see. Again, R2 taking on the droids at the beginning, putting all the oil on the floor. Just a badass little robot. Let's see. Christopher Lee as Count Dooku. Again, it's just so good. You can't hate on him.
Exactly.
Even though he doesn't last long in that movie. We'll get to that. But
It's always good to see Christopher Lee in it.
Oh, dude, I know. He's just so good. I love the scene where Anakin kills Dooku. I feel like it shows that he knows he shouldn't, but he does anyway, which shows the very early part of him in this movie that is, morally on the dark side already. I think everything about this movie is just so much better than the first two. The acting, the cinematography, the music, the action, the dialogue, etc., etc. I kind of like Tyler saying, I love General Grievous as a character. I really wish we got to see more of him. It's kind of upsetting that we didn't, but let's see.
It's hard to bounce off of that without being in my negatives.
Yeah.
He was so uncivilized, though.
He was. I love how the nightmare sequences that Anakin has. I just think it's super cool that it's showing basically what's happening in the future, but from his perspective, he doesn't know that that's basically caused by him. He just thinks that, oh, she's just dying in childbirth. The moment where Palpatine and Anakin are at the opera, to bounce off what Tyler was saying, I think that's when the Chancellor fully won him over emotionally onto the dark side. And fun fact, when Palpatine was talking to Anakin about Darth Plagueis, the guy who could save people from death, and he was talking about, he mentions an apprentice killed him in his sleep. I don't know if it was obvious or anything, but he was his apprentice.
Ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, that was cool.
I was wondering. I didn't know for a fact or not.
Yeah. I love the Wookiee world. I grew up playing Star Wars games, and if that world was in that game, it was always my favorite map. I thought it was super cool to see a bunch of new water ships and clone troopers that we hadn't seen yet.
Gotta sell them toys.
Yeah. The fight between Windu and Palpatine. Just such an iconic fight. Such an iconic scene. When Anakin basically chooses the dark side by getting Mace Windu killed. Tragic.
Unlimited power.
Yes.
It's okay to have fun on the show, guys. You can.
I just don't want to jump too far ahead.
You can.
No, we can't.
Yes, please. When he's dubbed, like Tyler was saying, when he's dubbed with the name of Darth Vader, and his theme song's playing in the background, just, my God, just orgasm,
I'm sure. My poor niece. Oh, that's so crude. I should not have said that. I apologize. That was
the scene when
Sith side.
The Sith side, your dark side.
Yeah, that's right.
The scene when Anakin storming the Jedi Temple with just thousands of troopers is so fucking cool.
And the
Order 66. Oh, I know. That's another thing. The music in this movie is just so good. It's just so good. And then Order 66. It hits every time. There's no dialogue needed. And like I just said, the music while it's happening just goes nuts.
Did it after our Godfather talk? Did you it click and you went, oh yeah, Godfather?
Yeah. I can't say too much about Order 66. I liked how it was shot, but
okay, that's all right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I just watched it this time and I was like, oh man, that is kind of, yeah. You could tell he really lifted off the Godfather scenes. But anyway, yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, what are we talking about?
With the newspaper scene
remember
from
in the Godfather? Yeah, where Pacino's getting at the baptism and it's intersecting.
Oh, yeah.
All the gangsters getting killed.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's what George Lucas's inspiration was.
Okay. I forgot we talked about that.
How do you even listen to the show?
The dialogue between Anakin and Obi-Wan before they fight, I love that dialogue. Just them going back and forth at each other, just screaming, arguing. I just love it. I love it so much.
Stand for democracy.
Yeah, it's so good. I think it's really cool.
I must.
Yes. I think it's super cool that when Anakin and Obi are fighting, that Yoda and Palpatine are also fighting. I feel like those are two of the most just iconic fights in the Star Wars movies happening at the same time. Maybe not so much Yoda and Palpatine, but Anakin and Obi-Wan for sure. Some of the best choreography of all time during the fight of Anakin and Obi-Wan, like Tyler was saying.
I'd agree.
I mean,
They
my
definitely put their work
God.
into it. Phew.
I couldn't take my
It was
eyes off the
mirrored.
screen. It was perfect.
Yeah, they said that because they trained so much for it, that's the actual speed. They didn't speed it up or do anything digitally to enhance whatever they were. I guess except for the jumping and shit, but the actual swords going against each other, that was their speed.
So good, dude. And then towards the end of the fight, when obviously he tries to take the high ground and gets his leg cut off, just the pure rage and emotion given by Hayden and Ewan when he cuts off his legs, it makes me tear up every time. Every time I watch this movie, that part makes me tear up.
You are my brother, Anakin.
It's so good. I have a
Take your
a
lightsaber and
soundbite
give it
of
to your
that
son? Okay,
Discord
I'm sorry.
server. The parallel of Anakin and Padme both being on an operating table, I thought that was really cool. I love how they show those two different perspectives. Again, the moment when the mask comes down and he finally becomes Darth Vader, letting out that first mechanical breath is just gold.
That's quality.
As he rises on the table to find out that Padme is dead because of him, realizing he did all of this for no reason because he couldn't save her. And some might even say that the fear of losing Padme was the real villain of the movie.
Man, Sean's getting deep on us over there.
It's not the Jedi way.
It's not the Jedi way. God, Anakin.
And then to wrap up my positives, I have a question for the both of you.
Uh-oh.
It's not a hard question or anything. Do you guys think Anakin was doomed from the start, or do you think that the Jedi fumbled him?
Well, I saw the original trilogy, so I knew he was doomed from the start. I will say, in the context of the movie, I would say a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think he was doomed from the start, but yeah, the Jedi they
Didn't really help.
Yeah, I don't know. Obi-Wan wasn't the best mentor in Attack of the Clones, as we saw, and it just seemed like Mace Windu just fucking hated Anakin from day one. So I don't know what that was all about.
And then the whole like him getting a spot on the council but not being given the rank of master, I feel like definitely didn't help the case.
What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, they see that he was already struggling through the first two movies, or second movie at least, and they still kind of like gave him shit for everything and like pushed him away, and they wouldn't, I don't know, emotions are easy to act on, so I would say it's a little bit of both as well. But I think if the Jedi would have like maybe tried to help him control his emotions a little bit better and like gave him some more insight, maybe it wouldn't have happened. But
and that's probably why Palpatine was so successful in convincing him, because
someone listened to him.
He had like a laser focus there. He didn't have a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all my stuff.
That's all your stuff. All right. Well, shit. I thought we were going to be here a lot longer, Tyler.
He did say he had like 30 notes. I don't know if that was all of them.
Maybe he's going to be negative to us.
I had like 26 positives.
Wow. All right.
I think I said all of them.
Man, all right. Well, this will be easy for me. There's nothing positive about this fucking movie. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to start. Yeah, I think the direction in this movie, we finally get some Lucas actually putting in a little bit of effort into this movie as opposed to the last two. The opening shot with the Jedi fighters, I really like the way it starts off with them. I'm assuming that was one of their big destroyers that they were flying around, and then it kind of lifts up around, and then they dive right, and the camera just brings you into the battle with them. I like how they kind of developed that. I thought, that's a cool trick, nice one take shot, and all the way you do get the banter and all that. So it moves along at a pretty breakneck pace at that beginning, and it's relatively fun. I have some issues with it that I may or may not get to later. I don't know. But, for the most part, at least it's bringing you into this war, and it gives you, like you said, Sean, the banter between the two of them feels a little more, hey, we're friends now kind of thing. Because, by the third movie, we have to establish that they actually were friends. And speaking of that, there were more moments that Lucas sort of let the movie breathe a little bit. We didn't get so much shitty dialogue, although it's there. I like the moment where Anakin is at the Jedi Temple and Padme is in her apartment, and they're just kind of staring out. And that's when Anakin's trying to decide whether he should go to Palpatine's office and fight Mace Windu or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like, because you could feel the emotion of those two. They know that shit's going bad and all that stuff. You just feel it really good. And it's quiet, and the music does its work and everything like that. The opera scene is another moment where I feel like Lucas kind of, like I said, he put some effort into it. I like the way it looked with the bubble, and you got the weird music and everything, and then the dialogue that you're getting between the two. And as you mentioned, I think, Tyler, that you could sense that, Palpatine is letting him know, I can help you. He knows.
Yeah.
Well, he's manipulating his emotions anyway, but in a way that, anyway, I don't want to talk about that.
It's a little bit leaning. It's a little bit leaning.
I was like, okay, dude, can you not? All right, we'll get to that negatives. And of course, the Vader helmet scene. I remember just being in the movie theater when it first came out. It was just, it's a brilliant way to do it. I mean, just to have all the music stop and it's quiet, and then it just kicks in with this breath. It's just, it still makes
so cool.
Hair on your arm stand up. I hate that he ruined it later, but we'll get to that later. The lightsaber action. If you like lightsaber action, this movie's got a lot in it from the start to the finish. I think everybody's fighting everybody in this movie with a lightsaber. As well as battles. If you want space battles, they're fighting everywhere. Like I said, Kashyyyk, where they got the Wookiees and they're all fighting. And then Order 66, you see different areas where they have all these battles going on and stuff. I don't know how much to get into the epic battle that you have. Yeah, it was well choreographed, and they put a lot of effort into it. There's a common negative to it that I'll probably repeat that others have said before. But I think if that would have been changed a little bit, it works. It's got some emotion to it by the end, and it kind of needed to be. But yeah, you wanted it to be epic by this point. You didn't want it to be, underwhelming. It would have been, if it would have been something short and sweet, you'd have been like, oh, that was it. I waited 3 movies.
Yeah.
So I might question the length of the battle, but anyway, lightsabers. You got the thing with, what's his name? General Grievous. He's got his 4 arms, and Obi-Wan's taking care of all that shit and stuff. Although I will say, I didn't put this in my negatives, but it's not really. It's kind of a nitpick. But Obi-Wan, Dooku just kicks his ass in both movies like he's nothing. I'm like, come on, Obi-Wan, what are you doing here? This time you teamed up with it. Anakin's like, all right, we're going to do this together. And you still
They just got thrown around.
Yeah. Punk.
But then he can fight some robot with 4 lightsabers.
Yeah, exactly. It has no problem with him. Let's see, another, my biggest positive for this movie, Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine. He's just great in that role. He was, when we get to the next trilogy and Return of the Jedi, he was great there. And I wish, Attack of the Clones didn't have enough of him, and he needed more. He just is such a great bad guy. He just loves being a bad guy. He has no pretense about it. He's like, I'm evil. I love it. I want the power. Give it to me. And he'll manipulate people and do whatever he can. Although, I will say it's kind of hard to believe that a weird-looking sociopathic narcissist could manipulate an entire population into supporting masked stormtroopers taking over the streets. That couldn't possibly happen. Went a little political there. I'm sorry. No, Ian McDiarmid, he's just so much fun. And then when he has that fight with Yoda, he's just talking shit to Yoda. My little green friend. I'm like, I love this guy. This whole movie could have just been him fucking with people through the whole movie. I'd love it.
And he's like smiling while he's fighting Yoda, like he's having a good time. He just fucking loves it.
I'm like, I want to be on his side. He's fun. What else? I don't want to belabor too much. Ewan McGregor's beard. Oh my god, quality beard, Ewan. He grew a nice one for this movie. I was jealous. And then, of course, the music. I mean, how can you say anything negative about any of the music in these three movies? John Williams brought his A game. I talked about the March on the Jedi Temple. I love that. I actually got that on one of my gym playlists because it just gets you pumped. And then I forget what the name of it is. They Battle of the Heroes or something when Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting, and it calls back to Duel of Fates and all the Darth Vader, and it's just it's epic stuff. So those are my positives for La Vendetta de a Sith. So let's go ahead and move into the negatives of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the...
How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair.
All right. I think, Tyler, you started us off, so please, shall I take a nap now? Are you going to lay into this movie?
No, I'm not going to lay into it.
Are you sure? I got some stuff in the kitchen I could go do for a while.
We're going to have to call back to my positives because I wanted to add things. So when I was talking about Grievous.
Look at Sean's prepping. Look at him. He's
rolling his sleeves up and shit.
Motherfucker, he might come running out of the room. I am recording this, Sean, so the police will have a record of whatever you do to Tyler.
So General Grievous, as a kid, I clearly remember the 4 lightsabers and how cool that was, and him spinning them and everything like that. And then he dies to a gun. I think that was kind of stupid. I think we should have had the lightsaber duel. I mean, I get it. He loses his lightsaber, makes it suspenseful. You don't know if he's going to make it out. But that big of a character that you've been chasing through 2 movies now, and then he just dies to a gun. I thought it was a little bit of a...
And his heart's just like exposed like that too,
Yeah. So
just so uncivilized.
The Mace Windu and Palpatine fight. That was a moral dilemma for me. I liked the fight. It was a really cool looking fight, with all the lightning and everything. But it sucks because I think Windu did win that fight, and then Anakin was
100%.
Anakin and acted on his
cheated.
emotions, and he said he needed him.
Why did he cut his arm off? Couldn't he have just blocked the lightsaber? I've been
Right,
like, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
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 Sean just said he's great.
I love that
scene. We're not getting out of it. It's me and you on this one, Tyler.
I did not like that Anakin was so focused on saving Padme's life that now he's agreeing to kill all of these people, even Obi-Wan, and he's just
little
like,
kids.
yeah, I'm cool with that. Like, that makes no sense. You would have to consider the fact that Padme's probably going to hate your guts for the rest of your life, and saving her life's not going to matter because you're not going to be able to be with her because you're an asshole, So,
I don't know. In Attack of the Clones, when he said I killed all them Tusken Raiders, she was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
She was still like, "Ooh, no, I like that.
I like that." Guess if he'd come home and said I've killed a bunch of kids, she'd have just been like, "Take me now."
And then Order 66 is in my negatives. I like how it was shot. I like how it was shot. I like the events and everything like that, but I like the good guy, right? So watching all of these Jedis just get gunned down with not even a chance to fight back is disgraceful to me. That hit me in the heart. It hit me in the heart as a kid, and it hit me in the heart as an adult.
All right.
So yeah, that wasn't fair. I mean, I get it. Needed to happen, but
so iconic.
Yeah, and then Anakin going in and just ruthlessly killing all these little kids. Like, and you love Anakin. Get out of here.
Fucking love Anakin.
I love that guy. I want to be like that guy.
I think he's like one of the best fictional characters of all time.
Wow.
Genuinely.
That is a bold statement here, ladies and gentlemen. That's a clip. That's a clip going on YouTube.
Those are my negatives. I think, yeah.
All right. Well, you went kind of easy out. Sean, are you even gonna throw anything in there?
I have two.
Oh, wait.
All right.
I have one more.
Oh,
how did Anakin not catch on to Palpatine? That was a weird turn of events. Like, he's over here just feeding him all this knowledge, hinting that he could help him, and then, oh, wait, it's you? All right.
I mean, I guess you could say, like, I don't know. Can you kind of say the same thing for like the whole Jedi Order? Because wasn't that this Sith Lord that they've been looking for this whole time? And
Yeah,
then
but he didn't
everybody's
give
just
them
like,
information that was like blatantly clear that he knew how to do all of this shit.
that's fair. That's fair.
Well,
Those are all of my negatives.
those are all it. All right. Sean, throw us your two negative. Let me
My
see.
two.
I'll piggyback off our last episode. It was not long enough, and what would his other negative be, Tyler? I don't know. Anakin.
I really don't know.
There wasn't enough topless shots of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, he was jacked. He was jacked.
All right, Sean. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. You're good. So yeah,
you know how I am. You know how I am.
I'd say there was still some stiff dialogue between Anakin and Padme. I mean, that didn't seem to change much. I do think it was a little bit better than the previous movie, but except for the end, I feel like the dialogue that they had at the end, you know, before he chokes her and practically kills her. Oh, that was really good. And then I wish Dooku was utilized a little bit more in this movie. Kind of to bounce off one of my positives, I didn't think he was in it enough. I think it would have been cool to see more of him. And yep, that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. 2 hour, 20-minute movie. That's all he gets. All right. That's fine.
all you
That's
get from
fine.
me.
Hey, we're gonna get to the original trilogy. I'll be that way. One of those movies I won't have any negatives. All right, I won't give that away before we get there. But all right, so all right, everybody, sit back. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna start off with, I said 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think that's how long this movie is, and it feels both very long and very rushed, if that makes any kind of sense. I forgot how much this movie drags in spots. Mostly with what you just talked about with Padme and Anakin, that shit still sucks. Every scene they're together, for the most part, it's just brutal. I don't know if it's the dialogue or I don't know. I don't know if Lucas is just like, yeah, that's good. Let's move on to the next scene or something. But I'll probably lean towards the dialogue. Yeah, you're so beautiful. I'm only beautiful because I'm in love. I'm like, God almighty. Can you imagine talking to someone like that? I think a woman would just be disgusted with you. But yeah, I feel like in those moments it's slow, but then it feels rushed because I feel like, and I don't want to be George Lucas or what was going through his brain here, but I feel like he got to this movie and was like, oh shit, I need to tie this into the original trilogy. So we got to get, like I said earlier, Obi-Wan and Anakin have to be friends in this one. We got to show more of Anakin being a pilot. We have to get the Palpatine in there, which was never set up in the first two movies, and in this movie suddenly he's a mentor to Anakin, which it just kind of comes out of nowhere. I mean, especially after Attack of the Clones, because Palpatine wasn't barely in it. So maybe if there was more of that set up earlier on, it would have made a little more sense. Then you bring in General Grievous, who, in my opinion, is extremely underdeveloped because he's just this guy that's the general that, okay, sure. You know what I mean? I don't know why he's the general. I don't know where he came from. I haven't seen him in any other movie, and now suddenly he's the bad guy in this movie that we're chasing after. I think, to your point, Sean, if you stuck with Dooku being that guy, at least I have that continuation from Attack of the Clones, so I know more about this guy. Grievous is just this thing. Why is he this thing, and why does he know all this stuff? I know
His little
from
spider hiding.
Yeah, exactly, running away from everything. I know from some of the stuff that I watched in in the Clone Wars stuff, what very little bit of I watched to kind of get a background, but this is the movies, and I needed a little more for that. I spoke about the relationship with Palpatine, how that just kind of, there it is. I think Dooku's death, it always, when he's kneeling, he's got time to be like, hey, Anakin, guess what? He's the Sith Lord, don't kill me. But he just sits there like, okay, cut my head off. I don't give a shit. I was like, why? They do something again in this movie that they've done, well, they did in Attack of the Clones, even though they're trying to establish really quickly that Obi-Wan and Anakin are these friends now. They still split them up and they go off on their separate journey through chunks of this movie, which I understand why, in the context of the Order 66, why Obi-Wan has to be thought to be dead so he could come fight Anakin. But at the same time, that's more time you could have devoted to building their relationship. So when Anakin does turn, it feels like something. Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't feel it. Even the first time I ever saw it, I never felt anything for the turn. That's probably my next negative to the movie. This all probably falls into more of the screenwriting and story side of it. I think direction wise, it moves. Like I said, it's slow and then it's fast, but it's got enough action and great music that it keeps you at least entertained. So yeah, the turn when Anakin decides that he's going to be Darth Vader, it just feels like in this movie, it's so sudden. It's like, okay, well, now I'm Darth Vader. Like, oh, okay. We haven't had, I mean, there's hints here and there, but again, I think if you would have had Palpatine be his mentor more in episode 2 or whatever, maybe I could have seen more of like the way he manipulates him in this movie. If you'd have seen that earlier and kind of little seeds that could have planted, then you go, okay, that makes sense now. But I mean, I get it. He doesn't want his wife to die, but suddenly you're going to kill, one of the big main Jedi masters. You're going to go off and kill Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's been your master. You're going to go into the temple and wipe out kids and shit. It just felt like, okay, that it doesn't seem like what he wanted was, or at least what he wanted that moment would have been enough, if that makes any kind of sense. It doesn't feel like it was earned. I guess that's the way I should say it. And again, that probably is all in the script. The Jedi are completely stupid. I know, Tyler, you talked about it, but I mean, Anakin, dude, this guy's waving flags at you like, here I am, I'm the Sith Lord. If I ever told you about Darth Plagueis of the Wise, oh, you mean the Sith Lord? Why would you know that? Why do you have weird paintings of Sith Lords in this room? And then it's like, okay. And even the regular Jedi are just stupid to not know that. And then, like you said, they go out like punks. The guys that Mace Windu goes to arrest Palpatine, absolute useless Jedi.
Useless,
Good God. I'm just going to assume that all the good ones were out fighting in the battles. And these were just kind of the guys, like in the last movie, that one dude. These were just a janitor Jedi. And he's like, okay, let's go. I got to take what I got to take.
They didn't even swing a saber, dude. They just stood there.
They all died instantly by this little old man. And I don't want to drone on and on and on. Let's see. I didn't need to see the kids get killed, or at least see the moment with him standing there and he opens the lightsaber. It's like, okay. I mean, I get it. He was going in there to kill everybody. Did we really need that? It kind of makes him almost
overkill.
Irredeemable. Even when we get to Return of the Jedi, you're like, oh, he still did go into a room and just kill a bunch of kids. So maybe we could have toned that back a little bit. I didn't like Chewbacca being in the movie because this is 10, 15, 20 years before the next movies, and in this whole time he's riding around in space with Han Solo, he never at any point is like, hey, by the way, I met this Jedi named Yoda and all this shit happened. No, we didn't say anything about that. And all right. Like I said, I could go on and on, but I don't want Sean to travel down here and beat me up. But my last negative, we'll go a little bit humorous on this one. But as cool as the opera scene is, I mean, dude, we're at the opera. Why the fuck are you running your mouth the whole show? How'd you like to be in the booth next to him and be like, oh my God, I saw Palpatine. He's running his mouth about some plaguey guy and some bullshit about the Force. I'm trying to watch opera. You know how much these tickets cost me, dear?
I paid good money for these tickets.
I'm going over there. I'm going to give Palpatine my thoughts. But yeah, I'm like, shut up, Palpatine. I want to hear the show. But those are basically my my negatives to this movie. Like I said, there's been other channels that could go on. I don't know if you know Red Letter Media, Mr. Plinkett's reviews. Woo. Sean, you don't want to listen to those.
They rip it up.
Yes. In a very, very humorous way. But anyway, that wraps up our negatives for this movie. So I guess we'll go ahead and move into our final verdicts. Tyler, what would you give this movie? Let's see, 1 out of 10. 10 being 10 amazing, epic lightsaber battles on Mustafar, and 1 being 1 4-armed, lightsaber-wielding robot giving you a prostate exam.
Oh my good God.
Way to keep it classy.
I would give it 7 epic battles. I really enjoyed the movie. I just think I don't know. It's just a big moral fight the whole movie, and I like the good guy, so it just kind of pissed me off. But
All right.
it was a good movie though.
Okay. You like your good guys being good guys and your bad guys being bad guys.
Yeah, and I'd like him to like have some common sense, I guess. But it is a movie, I guess.
They don't have a lot in this movie. Sean, please tell us why you're going to give this a 10.
Yeah, so I'm going 10. 10,
Oh
10
my
battles. I love this movie, dude. I've loved it since I was a kid. I was a little bit iffy again because I haven't seen it in like 4 or 5 years, but nothing changed. I think everything about this movie is just awesome. Like I said earlier, I think Anakin definitely goes down as one of the best fictional characters of all time. I am a fan of the struggle that he has morally. I think it, is just a great story, a great back and forth. But yeah, dude, I love this movie.
That's
I have
all right.
nothing bad to say about this movie.
Hey, I applaud you for sticking to your guns there and not being
Yes.
swayed by us negative
Negative Nancy's.
negative answers. I was trying to think of something Star Wars related, but that's the best we can do. All right. I cannot be so kind to this movie. I'm gonna give this a 1. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't do that. I fall closer to Tyler. I think it's a fine movie if you like action and you like really great music and sound effects and Star Wars stuff like that. There are some saving graces here and there. Of course, Ian McDermott, as I mentioned, as Palpatine is just priceless throughout the whole movie. But yeah, if you could turn your brain way down. Sorry, Sean.
No.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with a 6 on this one. A 6 on this one. It's it's a 6. It's watchable. I will say the action, like I said, the action stuff, it is entertaining at the very least. Let me ask you then. We'll start with Tyler since he's kind of been starting us off there. How would you rank the first 3 movies in the Star Wars universe here, or I should say, numerically in the Star Wars universe?
Numerically, I would say from like worst to best, I would say episode 2, episode 1, episode 3.
All right. What about
I did
Sean?
enjoy the third the most.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. What about Sean? Well, we know what number 1 is, so what's...
I'd give it the same. I'd go from best to worst. I'd go 3, 1, 2.
Okay. I'll be a little contrarian. I'll go from worst to best. Episode 2 would be worse. Episode 3 would be second, and I'll go Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace is a good movie.
It was a good movie.
I enjoyed
It's
that one a
not.
lot more than I thought it was going to.
It's not, but I don't know. I like Darth Maul, I guess. I don't know. I just wanna, kind of needle Tyler or needle Sean a little bit. I couldn't give him the satisfaction. See, I have the high ground here, Sean. I don't know if you know that. Because going into the original trilogy, you can't come at me against the original trilogy because you'll just look like a fool. Or I can just mute you through those episodes.
Make me think that I'm talking.
Yeah. And then you listen, you'll be like, I thought I made a point here. But yeah, all right. So there you go. We have wrapped up their prequel trilogy. I'm assuming, fellas, we're going into the original trilogy. We're going to skip Solo and Rogue One.
Yeah, it works for me.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we're just going to stick to the trilogies. So next month, we will start. Oh, finally. Finally. A good quality Star Wars movie with the original 1977 classic Star Wars. But of course, we'll have episodes between here and there. We will be deciding on which classic movie for these young fellas to watch that they haven't seen, and we'll do a review on that next week. And then at the end of the month, I think this month is Sean gets to take the lead on one of these episodes, which I'm waiting for. He's going to mute my microphone through the whole episode. But you also want to pay attention and follow us and subscribe because, like I said, we might have a special little fun episode towards the end of the week for you to pick up on. So definitely want to come back for that. Again, Tyler, tell them where they can find us and all that fun stuff.
On Instagram, we are Cinematic Travelers Pod. Our email is cinematictravelers@gmail.com, and our Twitter is CMT Pod.
All right. And what services are we on, Sean?
And we're also on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube.
All right, so if you've made it this far into the episode, we must have done something right. And if we did, again, follow us, let us know. Tell us what you think of Star Wars Episode 3, La Vendetta de Sith. That is great. That might be the best thing to come out of this episode. But yeah, let us know what you think. Tell us we're wrong. Tell Sean he's wrong. Just let him know.
No.
Or tell us me and Tyler we're wrong. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. So yeah, anyway, get in touch with us. We tell everyone we know we've got the smartest and sexiest audience in all the podcast YouTuber universe. You never fail to live up to those high standards. And as you are traveling around on this blue and green ball bouncing through the cosmos, I need you to go out there and do that voodoo that you do so well.